Yo guys, welcome back to Undefeated at Locals. It's your boys Marvin and Edgar here. Got a little bit of something different for you. We're going to be going over the hits and misses of the Cowboy Bebop and Trigun series decks. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. But what do we have for them?
Just so you guys know and remember, we're going to be doing a giveaway for the Critical Role Challenger decks. We are going to be giving them away once we hit 250 subscribers. We already got these decks pre-ordered. As soon as they arrive, they'll be ready to ship out. So all you got to do to join, rather subscribe to our channel to get our subscriber count up. Maybe leave a like and a comment to boost our analytics so we get more subscribers faster.
Absolutely.
And you got to join the Discord. Join the Discord. We have a giveaways channel. You'll go in there, hit the participate button, and you will be signed up for as soon as we launch the giveaway.
Yeah, we've already seen the hits and misses of some of those. There's a ton of hits already in those critical roles, and we have not seen a quarter of the cards. So
Exactly.
you'll definitely want to get in on that giveaway. And in relation to these very same Challenger Series decks, one of our boys, Seamus Gizmo on Twitch, is going to be doing a giveaway himself. This man has been grinding it day in and day out in Universus, doing these playtest nights for the community where you guys can come onto his stream, play the card game itself. He wants to give back to you guys as soon as he hits 100 followers. And keep in mind, this guy's already at like 80 followers. So this is going to be rapid fire if you join this Twitch. He's going to be doing the same type of giveaway. He's giving away all of the Cowboy Bebop and Trigun Challenger Series decks to a few lucky winners out there. All you have to do, follow him on Twitch right up here in the corner and join our Discord at Undefeated at Locals as he's one of the team members.
Now let's get on to the video. So we're going to start off from the top. We'll start off with the Trigun decks.
Yeah.
The Trigun decks, as you know, all these decks come with two characters. Trigun, you're getting Bash the Stampede. He is a 6 hand size, 27 health. I'm just popping this off the top of my head. Most of the cards here. But his enhances are interesting. He's got Enhance Mill, attack gets +2 speed. Pretty decent. And then he's got Enhance Commit, discard 1 attack card, draw 3 cards. So he's a potential for a 9 card hand size.
Yeah, absolutely.
8, because you have to discard 1. And then you have Nicholas D. Wolfwood. I believe he's also a 627.
Yeah, 627, 28. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's got Enhanced Mill 1. Your attack is +3 damage, or your ranged weapon attack gets +3 damage. And then he's got Response. After your combat phase begins, discard 1 momentum and draw 2 cards. Also an 8 hand size character.
Yeah, super solid.
Yeah. So both of these characters are pretty good. Their decks very much align with what they do. So we're going to go ahead and get into those.
Absolutely.
We'll discuss the hit or miss characters at the end.
Absolutely.
So, first thing here, we have the action Avoiding Conflict. It is a 1 diff +1 mid 5 check. It says Response remove. After this card enters your discard during the enhanced step, this attack gets +2 damage or -2 speed. It's also got Enhance. Place this card on the bottom of your deck, draw 1 card. How do you feel about this guy?
I'm not feeling too hot about this guy, right? Like this is like a weird like draw one card. Like it's just like a weird loot, right? That's like
Mm-hmm.
really like the best thing this guy's doing potentially.
Yeah. And in these decks specifically, the response sometimes goes off because there's a lot of mill in this deck.
Yeah, for sure. Like he's looking at the top of his discard pile a lot and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's okay. The enhance, I just feel like the enhance could exist as anything else. You could just put any other card in your deck and have it in your hand.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, you could have a draw card in your deck, right? There's a
Yeah.
million ways to draw cards. We don't need the blue ones to be doing a weird gimmick for us.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this one is kind of a miss.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
not really sure where they were thinking that this was going outside of Vash the Stampede.
yeah.
Obviously it's okay in him. Everywhere else, though, I don't think we see this played.
Yeah, there's a handful of decks that might use it, but there's just better ones.
Absolutely.
Next up, Interdimensional Plants. This is a 3 diff +2 high block with a 5 check. Enhance commit, destroy 1 foundation, draw 1 card. Your next check to play a card gets +1, and then enhance discard 1 momentum. Your attack gets +3 damage, gain 1 health. How do you feel?
Ah, man, I don't know. Like the effects seem good, right? The effects sound good. They're both good enhancements. On an asset, I'm probably feeling pretty bad on this, right? Like it's a green card. We don't get to use these to pass our checks. So like even though they are good effects, I don't think they're quite good enough for me. How about you?
Yeah. So I like the top enhance better than the bottom one
For
personally,
sure. Yeah, I agree with you.
because it pays itself back, right? You're destroying you enhance destroy one committed foundation, doesn't matter what it is, just destroy something.
Yeah, draw
Possibly
one
get
card
yeah,
and your next check to play that foundation gets easier.
yeah, yeah. And then the enhance discard one momentum, your tech gets +3 damage, gain 1 health. It's a one-time use powerful 3.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh
it's really gimmicky there. Like it's really interesting, but yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna jam this into my decks, right?
yeah, especially on it being a 3 diff.
Yeah, three diff asset feels like really rough. That's not like doing something like a defensive piece, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So again, I don't think we're going to see a lot of this card. We think this one's probably going to be a miss.
Yeah.
Next up, we'll go ahead and get into the attacks here in no particular order. The first attack we have here, what do we got?
We got disabling shot. This guy's our 5 diff, 2 high block, 4 mid for 5. This guy says enhance if the top card of your discard pile is an attack. This attack gains stun 2. Interesting. What are we thinking about this guy?
So this guy is he's rough to play anywhere outside of the two
Yeah,
characters.
yeah, for sure. Anything outside of Trigun?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because with it you're playing a 5 diff attack and expecting to check an attack.
Yeah, 100%. We want to check a 3 here.
Yeah. And like there's definitely cards in the kit that help mitigate that, right? There's cards that let you put a card on top of your discard,
Absolutely.
which help with it. But again, it's all within the kit. I don't see this is back alley at home.
Yeah, this is like the most gimmicky stun too, right? We have plenty of 5 diff attacks that just have printed stun 2
Yeah,
on them. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, this one's gonna be a huge miss. There's no shot I'm gonna play a 4 mid for 5 that sometimes has stun 2.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, same miss. We're never gonna see this
Yeah, no,
ever.
definitely not.
Next, we have the 4 diff Fan the Hammer. It's got a +1 mid block. It's a 3 low for 3. It has enhanced mill 4. This attack gets +2 damage for each range attack milled this way. What do you think?
Man, on a 4 diff like this one, like in an all ranged package, I could see this being okay, right? It's a low threat. Like it being a 3 low for 3 is probably like a little bit rough, I
Yeah.
guess. Like it never really gets that big, right? Now that
Hmm.
see, I've already convinced myself. I've already changed my opinion. This card's a miss for me as well.
Let me.
Like
There's, I believe, one really good use case for this, and it's in All Ranged Endeavor 3.
yeah, yeah, for sure, 100%, because he's giving stats on stats, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Outside of something like that, yeah, I think this card's like a huge miss. I don't want to mill my deck very often, right? Like
Yeah.
that's not a gimmick that I want to do. And like sometimes if this is just going to be a 3 low for 3 on a 4 diff,
Yeah.
that feels really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really poorly base statted.
Hmm. And so yeah, I feel the same way. Outside of, like I said, Endeavor 3, who is going to give this +2 speed minimum.
Yeah, and then like a million stats potentially.
Yeah.
Also mill his deck. He loves doing that.
Hmm.
Yeah, outside of that, yeah, I think it sounds like it's a miss from us.
Yep. Next up, we have their 6 diff Inevitable Clash. It's a +0 mid block, which is great. It's a 5 high for 7, statted to the sky. It's got enhance, add the top card of your discard pile to your hand, and powerful 3. What do you think?
This one's like probably like I'm probably like kind of mid on this one, right? Because like it's still like a 6 diff that we want to check poorly on, right?
Yeah,
Like that's the best case
yeah,
scenario I feel is like we play it, we check an attack, we get that attack, but like at what cost,
yeah.
right?
This one I feel a little differently about because you're not. It doesn't matter what the top card of your deck is. You're still
It's still
getting a
baying
card.
it back and it's still like very well statted. No, you're
Yeah,
you're totally right. Even if
yeah,
we don't check bad, we still get a card
yeah.
and it's got the powerful on it. It's very high statted, 5 high for 7 and a +0 mid.
And let me give you guys a little insight here. This has the life symbol, so you play this right before your hasty riff.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
Eat out their high block on this 5 high for 7 and then draw 4 cards across your
yeah,
turn. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, okay, so yeah, man, this card's Kind of a hit. Yeah.
Yeah, it will see some use.
Yeah, for
I don't
sure.
think it's going to be widely played across the format, but it will see some use.
Yeah.
Next up, what do we got?
We got another 4 diff, 2 low block, merciful volley, 2 low for 4. This guy just says enhance mill 2. This attack gets plus X speed. X equals the highest difficulty of a card milled this way. And then it has deadlock stun 2. What are we thinking about this guy?
This guy's interesting. In a character that gives it damage, I think it's really good,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Because this becomes a plus, uh, hopefully like 3, 4,
Yeah, speed. Yeah,
yeah,
potentially. Yeah,
uh, and
absolutely.
then giving it whatever damage. So like Wolfwood himself gives this 3 damage,
Yeah,
and
super
then
solid.
potentially gives it 3 speed. Now you're on
5 low for 7
yeah,
feels really solid on a 4 diff.
yeah, and like it doesn't need any. It doesn't matter what's on top of your deck with this guy.
Yeah,
So
no, absolutely not. Yeah, I agree here. Like a 4 diff that like is probably base like 4 low for 6, something
hmm
like that in most characters that are gonna run this. It's pretty solid, yeah. I'm down to call this guy a hit. It's a 4 diff, really good stats, 2 low block, feels really solid.
yeah. Next up, we have Nimble Maneuver. This is a 4 diff plus 2 low block, 3 high for 4. It's got enhance, add the top card of your discard pile to the top of your deck. It's got EX2. What do you think?
Uh I'm it's interesting, right? For sure. The add the top card of your discard pile to the top of your deck can be like really good, but it also can be like we checked a 3 and we're never gonna do that, right?
Yeah,
Like it's really interesting. It's a 4 diff, 2 low block, 3 high for 4. I just don't think it's like well statted enough, right? Like
yeah.
for an ability that again in most characters is like random, right? Of
hmm
course, in Vash, like in the Trigun character list, this card is probably pretty solid. You're going to like I'm going to put this card on the top of my discard
Yeah,
pile and then on top of my deck. Everybody else, this is a miss, right?
yeah. Not many characters get to play this. If you have some kind of targeted draw effect, you can
Yeah,
get whatever it is, draw it, and whatever. Or maybe if you checked well, you put that back on top of your deck.
and now
You're
you're
gonna check
checking
well
another
again.
5. Yeah,
But yeah, it's just not good enough stats wise. It's enhanced just doesn't do enough.
nope, nope. It's going to be a miss from us.
Yep. Next, this is one of my favorite attacks. What do we got?
We got a 5 diff, 2 mid block, Punisher's Beam, 4 high for 5, and we got Enhance Mill 3. Add 1 ranged or weapon card milled this way to your momentum. And then Enhance, if this attack deals damage, destroy 1 rival foundation. And this guy has Breaker 1 on it. Damn, all right, this guy's pretty good.
Yeah, like I said, this is one of my favorite attacks out of this particular deck. And I'll go over more about why that is when we do our unboxing video. But the stats are decent. It forces a momentum, which is really good.
Absolutely.
Most of the time, it forces a momentum. Not always, but like getting a free momentum is getting a free momentum. And if they just don't block this, you're blowing something of theirs up,
Yeah,
which is
target
great.
destroy is like super crazy on a off zone block.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if they just don't have the high in their hand, this is gonna hurt.
yeah. So this one's going to be hit for us. I think it's
Yeah,
going to be super viable in a lot of decks.
absolutely. I very much agree.
Next up, we have a 4 diff. Plus 3 high block, 4 mid for 4. This is Steady Shot. It's got enhance if the top card of your discard pile is an attack, your rival loses 2 health, and you gain 2 health. This attack cannot reduce your rival below 1 health. How do you feel?
Again, just not very good, right? Like it's so random. It has a terrible block mod, and that is the opposite that we want for our attacks. Generally, if attacks have bad block mods, their effects are insane,
Yeah,
right? Like we're talking throw attacks, like guaranteed burn effects. Generally, if you're rocking a bad attack block mod, your attack needs to be really solid to do that. A 4 diff 4 mid for 4 is just not gonna be that for me.
yeah, it sure isn't. I don't think this is one of those ones where like most of the time I can see like there's some decks that might be able to use it. I don't think anyone
No, I
uses
don't
this.
even think Vash wants to use this, and it's his face on it.
Yeah,
Would you ever want to jam a 4 mid for 4? That's crazy.
yeah. So huge miss on this one, I think.
Yeah.
That's it for the attacks, guys. Next up, we'll get into the foundations. So, what do we got here?
We got a 2 diff, 2 low block. Counselor of Plants. This guy just has a response and it's tenacious. Flip, after this card is committed due to your rival's effect, gain 2 health and ready 1 foundation.
Yeah. Uh, I think this is great. It is a 2 diff stun hate. It's got no abilities on it, but the stun hate on it, I think, is strong and fair.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, absolutely. It's not like the it can't be fixed that's being rotated. It's
Yeah,
not absolutely egregious like the set 1 cards, but it's a very, very decent effect for sure, especially since like we can commit it and forget about it, and
yeah,
then like yeah, feels super solid.
yeah. It's a 2 diff. It's a +2 low block, so I think, and it doesn't check a 4, like,
Yeah, yeah,
you know.
checks a 5. Yeah, 100%. It's like
So
super, super well statted there. And yeah, this is just the first thing you commit to your rival's effect, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. So
yeah,
yeah,
definitely we believe this one's a hit.
yeah.
Next up, we have a 2 diff decisions. It's a +2 mid block, checks a 5 and says enhance commit. This attack gets +2 damage if the top card of your discard pile is an attack. It's 3 damage instead. How do you feel?
Um, I'm not feeling too good on this one. Huge points for the art. I think we've wasted this art once again. You guys do this to me all the time. This art is so funny looking. But yeah, I think there's just way better things we could be doing with our 2 diffs, right?
Yeah,
Enhanced commit to like get damage feels like
yeah.
yeah.
Enhance commit +2 damage is so common.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
absolutely. There's a million foundations doing something better than this.
so I definitely think it'll see play because it is still enhance commit +2 damage.
Yeah.
We see it everywhere, and if the top card of your discard pile is an attack, you probably check it in
Yeah,
most
yeah,
cases.
fair. Like this card, like it's only a miss because we have this card on 9 other foundations,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, like
yeah,
we've seen this exact enhance before, so that feels pretty bad in the format. So yeah, I'm gonna say it's a miss only because it's the same foundation we've seen 8 million times.
exactly. Yeah, so you'll see it, but only
You,
because you'll
you
see
like
it
the
and
art,
everything
and it's
else.
on
Yeah,
the symbol that you're trying to make it happen with.
yeah.
Yeah.
So next up, we have Get the Scoop. This is a 1 diff +3 low block, checks a 5, enhance flip. Look at the top card of your deck. You may discard it. How you feeling?
Um, on a 1 diff, this one's probably okay, right? As a spam foundation of like I need to pass this next attack to kill you. I'm actually like very down for spam like that.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's a decent effect. It's similar to things like Observant Student that we've seen
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
past.
absolutely.
Just with the little extra step, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like
Um,
our spam foundations don't have to be broken. The only feels bad is that they were in set 1, right? Like
yeah,
we have seen broken spam foundations. They're definitely not supposed to be. So like I think this is like a super fair 1 diff. So yeah, I'm gonna say that this is a huge hit.
yeah. This is a hit. We're gonna see this in any deck that wants to be able to check that 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next up, what do we got?
We got a 2 diff, grasping for answers. It's a +3 low block. We hate bad block mods. This guy says, enhance commit flip. If the top card of your discard pile is an attack, your next ranged attack gets -2 difficulty. Wow.
Yeah,
That is very situational.
super situational. And in ranged decks, I think we will see it, right? Because this helps recover from that bad check.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. This is just like the Rappa card, right? This
Yeah,
is just the Rappa commit flip. Your next check gets +2. It's just like
yeah.
on a different symbol.
It's on a different symbol. It's got a little more
More situational.
situational to it.
Yeah, so like it's only like a miss in my eyes because once again, this is a foundation that
Yeah,
we've just seen before. Like you've already printed this exact
yeah.
text.
We'll definitely see more of it in certain range decks.
Yeah,
Certainly not.
Vash for
Yeah,
sure. Like, yeah, his kit will enjoy this. But yeah, it's not a win flavor wise, but yeah, I guess it's a hit. Like it will
yeah.
see play in range decks.
It'll see
Yeah.
play. We're not going to call this a hit though.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's a huge miss for the community. Don't print the same text on these cards.
yeah. Next up, we have a 1 diff +2 high block. Checks a 5 called Motherly Affection. It says enhance flip. If the top card of your discard pile is an attack, gain 2 health. What do you think?
Uh I guess on a spam this is okay, right? Like enhanced slip, gain 2 life on the life symbol is like probably like pretty dominant, like Recovery Girl will love this foundation. A lot of decks like her will love this foundation. It's a spam with a +2 high block, so probably pretty okay.
Yeah. Like I said, this I don't think this one's terrible, especially since you can, as you're clearing your card pool, right? If an attack was blocked, if you're the way you clear your card pool, an attack will end up on the top of your deck, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You just don't
absolutely.
take a momentum, an attack will end up on the top of your deck, and you can just use this enhance on your opponent's turn to
Yep,
gain that
yeah,
control.
super easy,
Right?
yeah.
You're not hoping to check a three.
Yep, yeah, you don't have to do anything. You can just put it there and call it a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, on a
So
spam, this is probably a hit. It could see play for sure.
exactly. Then we have what's next?
One diff pitching in +2 mid block checks a 6. That's gonna be pretty important, I'm sure. This guy says enhance flip. Choose one card in your discard pile and place it at the top of your discard pile. How do we feel about this?
So this card is really what brings this deck in particular together. You need this because so often you need an attack on the top of your discard pile to do anything.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so being able to just put it there in some cases is nice. It's a spam. It's checks a
Checks
six.
a 6. It's an okay mid block.
Yeah. Outside of this deck, though,
Yeah, probably never gonna see play, right? Even with the 6 check, like there's guaranteed better 6 check options that do a better effect for a wider audience of characters. So yeah, inside the deck, I'm sure it will see play. Outside, probably a miss for us,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Then we have their zero diff. It's a +2 mid block, checks a 5, called Predless Negotiations. This one's real simple, guys. It's just got Breaker 1.
Yeah, yeah, just Breaker 1. I love this card,
Yeah,
honestly. I think this card's a huge hit. I think this is exactly where zero diffs should forever be in this card game. It's where they were before My Hero Academia, and it should be where they remain. We should not have requesting assistance. It can't be fixed. None of these abilities should be printed on a zero diff.
yeah,
This is exactly an ability for a zero diff. It has a +2 mid block, so a perfectly fine mid block, and it's a spam foundation. I think this card's sick.
yeah. Same deal. This is on any of these symbols. It's just a real easy zero diff to add to your
Yeah, yeah, you
list.
can just jam 2 of these into your deck. I have a Breaker 1 block now. Like, I'm super in.
Yep. Then we have the two diff Seen It All. It is a +1 mid block, checks a 4. It's got enhance if the top card of your discard pile is an attack. This attack gets +1 speed or +1 damage. What do you think?
Not good, I don't think. It checks a 4, it's a 2 diff. Again, we like most decks probably just have better options, right?
Yeah,
We have 2 diffs that just give the stats, right? That we don't need an attack on top of our deck. We don't need to do anything like that.
yeah. The fact that it's free, you don't have to commit for it is neat, but it's so conditional that like you only get to use it. The way I explained it to some other people, you get to use these enhances 33% of the time
Yeah,
in a deck.
100%. Yeah, exactly. And that feels really bad on a 2 diff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so miss.
miss. Yeah.
You
Then we have one of my favorite artworks,
know,
Suspended Bounty.
yes.
This is a 2 diff +2 high block, checks a 5. It's got enhanced commit, -2 speed. If the top card of your discard pile is an attack, it gets -3 speed instead. What do you think?
This is like most of the time -1 speed. Sometimes it's -2 speed technically because
Yeah.
we're committing. God, I don't know. I it's hard. It's probably like okay, right?
Hmm.
Especially considering some of the cards that we're losing out of set one. This is probably a all right foundation. I'm not sure that I would ever want a two diff. What do you think about this
Yeah.
guy?
I think it's going to see play. This is slightly more balanced specialist
The
sound.
specialist is on. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like that's the card that we're losing, right?
Hmm.
And it's just commit. So like yeah, yeah, it doesn't flip like the one diff flip. So yeah, I think this is probably pretty all right, honestly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a guaranteed speed hate. It never leaves your staging area. And like -1 speed is fine sometimes. It can save us.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I think this one's you're going to see it. It's a hit as far as this. It's going
It's
to show up.
playable, yeah, for sure.
Last up, what do we got?
We got a 2 diff +3 high block, the big fall, checks a 5, enhance remove. Your rival destroys one ready foundation. And then we have a deadlock enhance remove. Your rival destroys 2 ready foundations. What do we think here?
Uh, I think this is decent. Um, it is. removal, right? Like you
Yeah.
get to destroy something of your opponent's, which I've experienced. Like so, you know, we've played with these decks a little bit.
Yeah.
I've experienced seeing this card ready in my stage when my opponent has 2 ready foundations left.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like, and the fact that we get to use this both offensively and defensively, right?
Mm-hmm.
We check poorly on a block. This is the one thing we keep up, and potentially we get to press the emergency button. Now you have to check a 6 to play your next
Yeah.
move, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, feels pretty good.
So for I mean for a 2 diff, you know, running 1 or 2 of these in your deck,
Is not a bad option, especially with the deadlock enhance. The deadlock enhance
yeah,
is
the deadlock enhance is
brutal.
much better.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think this is a perfectly fine deadlock threat and a pretty good emergency switch.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be a hit.
That'll wrap it up for the Trigun Stampede decks. Next up, we'll move into the Bebop decks.
Yeah, absolutely. So we all know what the Bebop characters got going on. We got Spike and we have Faye, our girl. She's back. Spike is another 6 hand size character. He's got enhance flip 1 foundation. If this attack deals damage, draw 1 card. If this attack deals damage, so he's played both offensively and defensively, is what I've realized after playing him. And then he has enhance your attacks get +1 speed and +1 damage for every 3 face down foundations in your staging area. Faye does something a little bit similar. She says enhance flip 1 foundation. This attack gets +2 or -2 damage. She's a 7 hand size character, 22 health. Really defensive ability there. And she also has response commit. After your attack deals damage, add the top card of your discard pile to your hand. So like she's kind of like an 8 hand size character and has like a pretty defensive ability on her face.
Yeah, so pretty good stuff. Well, like we said, we'll get into rating them after we go through the kit.
Absolutely.
So the first card that we have here, Welcome to Spaceland. What is this?
All right. We're gonna spend like a minute on this card because it's pretty funny. 3 difficulty, 2 high block action. Welcome to Spaceland. Checks a 4. This guy has first enhance. If there are at least 10 or more face down foundations in both players' stages combined, this attack is unblockable into the enhance step. And then it has enhance rivals turn, remove, ready 3 face down foundations. So in our unboxing video that you guys will see, our gut reaction to this card was holy shit, right?
Yeah,
This card seems very, very oppressive. It seems very, very good. Playing this deck, I killed you every time before either of us would ever
yeah,
have 10 foundations.
yeah,
You either killed me or I killed you. There was not ever 10 face down foundations.
yeah,
So this card, like, I honestly think its rival's turn is a much better enhance. Readying 3 face downs feels insane defensively in a deck that's going to have that many face downs,
yeah,
right? Um, the unfortunate part is like this card doesn't have the Earth symbol; it shares the life symbol. So I really feel Overhaul is like the only true Overhaul. Like maybe Recovery Girl if you're doing
yeah.
something weird with her. Really, the only characters that are going to gain any real value from this. This is most often than not going to just be a dead card in your hand, right?
Yeah, yeah. And it'll work in a handful of decks because of the Rivals Turn enhance,
Yes, for sure.
but
Ready 3 face downs is super solid.
it's not nearly as crash as we originally thought it was
No,
going to
no,
be.
this card is honestly like a miss for me. I
Yeah,
+3 action, like yeah, probably not something you're gonna want to jam into your deck list.
exactly. You're not going to want to build this for sure.
No. All right, on to the asset here. We have a 2 diff +2 high block. We got Ein. We got the little Doge. This guy is a 2 high block, checks a 5, enhance, commit. If you have 3 or more face down foundations, draw 1 card, and then enhance your attack, commit. If you have 8 or more face down foundations, your rival discards 1 card, and it's an ally unique. What do we feel?
I like this card. Um, so it being a 2 diff is huge. You know, it's not a 3 diff. It has great effects. You're either gaining +1 or removing 1 from your opponent.
Yeah.
Um, Either way, it creates a situation where you are controlling the flow of the game a little bit better. And on the symbols it has, life, void, water, that is very important.
Yeah, 100%. Like early game, you're adding to your tempo. Late game, you're removing your rival's tempo, and that feels really, really solid to have reverse tempo effects on one card,
Yeah,
right? Feels really, really good. This is the first asset that I've ever seen in the entirety of playing this card game that I'm like, yes, I would jam this into a deck, right?
yeah.
I would absolutely play on
Not
it.
just like with a gimmick,
Yeah,
a
yeah, I
specific
need
use
this
case. Yeah,
character. Yeah, it's very good here. No, this card's just very good across all of its symbols. I think it will see play. It's a hit.
yeah. Next up, we'll move into the attacks. Uh, so this one in particular was huge because it caused a lot of ruckus.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We have a 5 div, 2 high block, Fallen Angel's Revenge. Not bang. Thanks, Levi. This guy is a 4 low for 6. It has first enhance, discard 1 momentum, unflip 2 foundations, and then it has a response after you flip a foundation. This attack gets +1 speed. Well, how do we feel about this guy?
I think this guy is sick. He's on the earth symbol, he's on the life symbol, he's on the water symbol. All of these symbols have great flip effects.
Yeah,
Uh, the stats are out of this world. 4 low for 6.
yeah, super sick.
It's +1 on the ramp that I would that I would
Yeah,
normally play a card on.
absolutely.
And then it just gives itself speed. And if you happen to have a momentum, you just get to unflip those things that you flipped earlier. They're
100%.
they're great effects again.
Yeah, yeah, this is just like a better and worse reprint of Naval Laser Beam, right? We're losing the Breaker 2, but gaining the fact that it's a low threat instead of the middest mid, you know?
That ever did mid, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, like it's a perfectly fine reprint to a card that was seeing a lot of play. This card will probably continue to see a lot of play going forward.
I agree. This one's going to be a hit. Then we got the 4 diff. This is a +2 low block, falling heel strike. This is a 2 high for 4. You have some feelings on this one, don't you?
I sure do. I sure do. This guy's enhance says enhance unflip 1 foundation. This attack gets +2 speed. And then we have it's printed with stun 1. The stun one's like negligible. Um I'm gonna preface this. I do not think this card is good, right? It's
Hmm.
not well statted. It's not giving itself the right stat in this situation in my eyes. It's a 2 low block, that's fine. I do not think we should ever be printing unflips that don't cost anything, right?
Yeah.
That feels like we just read you guys a card that costs a momentum on a 5 diff that unflips too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, as a first enhance, even, which is the most important part, right? We should never be allowed to use flip effects and then unflip them.
Yep. So yeah, this guy again, like you said, the stats aren't crazy. The effect is, and especially like there's a card later, there's a few cards later.
Yeah,
There's a
that
card
are
later specifically in this deck that just
yeah, any 3 diff, which is the one you're gonna see a lot. There's a lot of 3 diffs in this game. Even like excited for blood on the death symbol, right? Like
Mhm.
flipping excited for blood to gain 4, playing this, unflipping it, drawing a card, gaining another 4. Completely unfair. It should not be that easy.
Exactly.
So yeah, miss on the card itself, and honestly, miss on the effect. Even though it's good, it's too good. You
Yeah,
should not
yeah,
print this.
yeah. Uh, miss on design.
Yes,
This is
yeah.
a hit though,
Yes,
isn't it?
yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, for sure. Miss on the design. It's gonna be a hit on the card,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
you're going to see this in
Yeah,
a
for
lot of
sure. A
decks.
lot of decks are gonna abuse this ability.
Hmm. Then we have a reprint. This is a 4 diff +2 high block, 4 high for 4, high roundhouse kick. Real simple. It's got enhanced discard 1 momentum. This attack is +5 damage. What do you think?
I don't think this is good enough, right? It's like it's really situational. Like there's gonna be better moves, right? There's better 4 diffs that have more enhances than just powerful 5 once.
Yeah,
It's a 4 high for 4 turns into a 4 high for 9. Like giving this speed, I guess feels okay, but like a lot of decks again just have more powerful abilities. I feel.
yeah. It's very situational for me. I do think you're going to see it. I don't think you're going to widely see it. Not as
Yeah,
much as some
fair.
other cards.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll call this one a miss. It's It is
It's
what it
not
is.
terrible,
Yeah.
right? It's not a terrible card, but yeah, I don't think it's the best that we've seen.
Next up, what do we got?
We got a 5 diff, 2 mid block, 5 low for 5. This guy's Hunter Pursuit, and it says enhanced. If you have 5 or more face or 3 or more face down foundations, your next attack gets -2 difficulty, and then it has printed EX2. What do we think about this guy?
Um, I think this guy's all right. I don't think the stats are solid, right?
Yeah,
It's an off-zone card,
absolutely.
and if you're playing the face down gimmick, which on a lot of these symbols that it has you are,
Yeah.
giving an attack -2 difficulty is huge.
Yeah, for sure. Like it I feel it has everything go right for it, right? For the face down thing, it has the earth and life symbol as well as the water symbol as we mentioned before. And for water, it also has the ranged keyword, which like we see a lot on
Yeah,
this symbol. So yeah, I think this guy's gonna be a pretty solid effect. A 5 low for 5 that makes my next move 2 cheaper feels really solid.
yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so gonna be a hit. EX2, nuts.
EX2 is great. Uh, what do we got?
We got 4 diff plus 3 mid block. We hate bad block mods. We got Jawjammer, another reprint. 2 high for 4. We have enhanced destroy 1 face down foundation. This attack gets plus 4 damage. And this has the throw keyword, which is something I did not realize in the unboxing video, or at least
Yeah.
my brain did not register it. What do we feel about this guy?
So I'm super excited to get this card, right? Personally, because I was hot on the Life Giro 2 throw deck, and as I was going through the throws, a few weeks back, I was like, man, I really wish I could throw Jawjammer into this.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And now you quite literally can.
Yeah, they are giving it back to us, which is huge. I think this is great. I think it's a solid throw. 8 damage throw on its own. Destroying 1 face down foundation is easy. We can just make that happen super quick. Uh, I think it's good.
Yeah, I very much agree. I said it earlier. Bad block mods should only be printed on like I literally mentioned throws and broken effects. This has both of that,
Yeah,
right? You get plus 4 damage to a throw attack. Insane. 2 high for 8 on a 4 diff feels really solid.
yeah. So this one's going to be a hit. I don't think you're going to see it in a ton of decks, but
Every
it's going
deck
to
that
exist.
can play it
Yeah.
will, right?
Mhm.
Like, yeah, there's a lot of decks that will want to jam this, and they will.
Yep. All right. Next up, this one's an interesting one. We
It
have
sure is.
a 3 diff, 2 low block, 2 mid for 3, questioning threat. It's got enhanced flip 1 foundation. This attack gets +3 speed. Deadlock enhance. Your next check to play a card gets +5. How do you feel?
The deadlock threat is insane, right? The deadlock threat is just what we have on double jab pummel. The effects is not double jab pummel, right?
Yeah.
This is a 2 mid for 3 that my opponent has to do absolutely nothing with. Giving it speed is entirely irrelevant because I'm never going to block it anyway.
Yeah. I think it's neat. The deadlock is cool. It's since it's a 3 diff, you can play this late into your attack run, and then your next card effectively ignores progressive, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Like later on in a turn it gets really, really
Yeah.
viable
So I think the deadlock threat, you're gonna see maybe a few of these jammed into decks to
to try to like really offer that threat.
exactly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just an okay card.
Yeah, yeah, probably a miss overall.
Yeah.
Might see it a little bit, but yeah, probably not good enough.
All right. This one's the big one for this deck. What do we got?
We got the 6 diff plus 0 mid block, just like we've seen before. This time we have a 5 mid for 8. Insane stats. We have first enhance. This attack gets +2 speed. And then we have another first enhance. If you have 8 or more face down foundations, this attack gets +5 speed, right?
Yeah, double it.
Yeah, double its speed. What do we feel about this guy?
I like this a lot. Because it's not just +5 speed, right? It is a first enhanced double. So if it came in with any bonus,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You're just going to absolutely annihilate
yeah.
your opponent. This is such a great like turn starter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like your alpha turn, the turn that you're trying to end your opponent's life, starting with a 10 mid for 8 is
Yeah.
devastating.
And like it's early on, getting the +2 speed
Yeah,
when you don't
7
have
mid
it,
for
7
8
mid for
feels
8,
super
solid
fine.
stats.
Yeah,
Later
absolutely.
in the later in the game, 10 minimum 10 mid for 8
Yeah.
is huge.
Yeah, this feels super solid. There's a ton of decks in the format that will want to jam this. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think this is a huge hit.
All right, guys, moving on to the foundations for the Bebop deck. What do we have here?
We have a 2 diff +3 mid block, checks a 5, ending the dream. Enhance destroy, your attack gets +4 damage. How do we feel about this guy?
I think it's solid. It's so we have, like we said earlier, we have a lot of commit for +2. Having a destroy for +4 feels really, really good sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Like +4 damage is quite a lot of damage. Like towards the end of a string, right?
Hmm.
Like we're sometimes we just miss a rival by like between that 1 to 5 range. This really closes that gap very
Yeah,
fast.
it sure does. And yeah, I think this one's going to be hit. I think you're going to see this in decks across its symbols.
Yeah. For all of these symbols, Death loves destruction effects anyway, so like
Yeah.
it's super down for it.
And then got moving on. What do we have here?
We have probably one of my favorite foundations in the entire Challenger series as a whole. We have a 1 diff +3 high block fast friendship. This guy says enhance flip. This attack gets -2 speed. If you have more face down foundations than your rival, it gets -3 speed instead. What do we feel about this guy?
Uh, I think this is great.
Yeah,
Uh, as opposed to its counterpart from the Trigun deck that needed an attack on top of your discard pile, this one has a much easier requirement to fulfill.
absolutely.
Um, so I think you're gonna definitely see this.
Yeah, 100%. What do you guys have to realize is that the flip is the cost of this ability. So we always pay cost first. So it counts itself in that total, right?
Yep,
So, like, more often than not, like, even in our games where we played these Challenger Series decks, this one card was enough to activate its other ability, right?
yep,
I
yep,
now have one face down foundation to your 0. I'm giving your attack -3 speed.
yep. So yeah, hit here. You're
Yeah,
gonna
huge
see it.
hit.
All right. Next up, we have one of the better artworks for foundations in this set that I think. It is a 2 diff +2 low block fateful meeting checks a 5. It's got response remove after you take damage from an unblocked attack. Your rival loses 3 health. This effect cannot reduce your rival below 1 health. It is a unique. What do you think?
For the symbols that it's on, it's like pretty solid, right? It's like a really interesting effect. I'm liking all of these like response remove effects for sure. It's something that we have not seen in the game thus far.
Yeah, not a lot of. Yeah, on this, especially on Life and on Earth, you're going to see an attack come in, you're going to reduce it down to 1 damage, you're going to take it unblocked, and your opponent will take more damage than you did.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, feels super solid to just like hit them for free basically.
Hmm.
Like yeah, this is just a great foundation. It's a 2 low block. It's perfectly fine. I love the ability on
Yeah,
this.
I see Recovery Girls eating this up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next up, what do we got?
We got another 2 diff +1 high block. Finally awake checks a 5. Enhance commit 1 foundation. Your high or mid attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage. How do you feel?
I think this is good enough. High attacks have proven to be very versatile in the format thus far, and will continue to be even after set one rotates.
Absolutely.
And mids are mids. You're gonna always have mids
Yeah,
unless you're Ochako, I guess.
Yeah, I think this card's like nuts. When I first read this card when playing the decks, I legitimately read it because like I read it as enhanced commit, and then I just read the ability, right? So I
Hmm.
just assumed it's just going to commit itself. No, it certainly says commit 1 foundation.
Yep.
So yeah, across a turn, this 1 foundation can be +10/+10, right?
Yeah.
Which is insane. So yeah, I think this card is a huge hit. It will most definitely see play.
Yeah. Agreed. Next up, we have the 3 diff +2 high block, leaving the Bebop. This checks a 5. And we'll harken back to the reason certain things we talked about, we talked about.
Yes.
It says enhance flip, discard 1 momentum, mill cards from the top of your deck, or rather, mill cards from your deck until you mill an attack. Add the milled attack to your hand. This plus being able to unflip it.
Yeah, 100%. We've seen a recent community vote in another person's channel. Y'all voted this card is bad, right? I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure that's how your vote ended. That's insane. I feel this card is nuts just as it is, right? It is a very good effect on a 3 diff. We flip and get an attack.
yep,
No questions asked. I need one more attack to kill you. I'm going to find it.
yeah,
That is insane on its own. Then you give it an attack on the same symbols that unflips it.
yeah. So this is the one place where I see that last card being a hit.
Yeah,
Not the one place.
absolutely.
It's got plenty of good things to
Yeah,
unflip.
yeah, but
This one in
this,
particular,
yeah, this idea, right? It is just going to unflip broken 3 diffs, right?
yeah,
So these 3 diffs should not be as broken because it's a flip, right? I get to do it one time.
yep,
That's just a good card. It's a broken card when I say, yeah, I'm gonna unflip it and do it again.
yeah. And I don't know about the implications here, but it is on the life symbol.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, probably not the best symbol choices here.
Yeah,
But either way, a huge hit in a card. The card's nuts, and even more nuts when paired with the unflip.
yeah. Next up, we have a 2 diff +1 mid block called Light It Up. Checks a 5. Great artwork here.
Absolutely.
It says enhance if you have more face down foundations than your rival, your attack gets +2 damage. What do you think?
+1 damage, right? One
Oh, +1
damage.
damage.
I think this card's nuts. This card is just another reprint, but you mentioned it before in the comparison to the same Vash card, free damage is free damage, right?
Yeah,
If this gimmick is what your deck is doing, especially again on these symbols, it can definitely get there. You can easily have more face down foundations on the life and water symbol.
yeah,
The card's insane. It's just 1 damage, several stats across a turn. Perfectly acceptable for a 2 diff.
exactly. I think it's a hit. I think you're going to see it a lot.
Yeah, most definitely.
Next up, what do we got?
Freaking sadness. That's what we have. Sadness. We have a 1 diff, 2 mid block, nothing like Andy. How dare you? How dare you mention Andy? It checks a 5, and all we have here is after you block with this card, remove it. What do we feel about this?
I think it's a good enough spam. +2 mid block.
Yeah, absolutely.
That clears your card pool.
Yeah, 100%. We've seen a card exactly like this, right? We've seen in the Eraserhead kit, Eraserhead has a card exactly like this, but I believe his is a +3 mid block, I think. But yeah, this is just a perfectly acceptable ability.
Yeah,
It's again like spam should not be good. We've had it too good in this game. It's going to be hard to grasp. It's going to be a hard pill to swallow. You guys are just like those of us that can't like that got into this game when we did, we're just gonna have to get over the fact that we had broken spams.
yeah,
This is what should be printed on these cards, and I'm totally fine with it.
yeah, exactly.
It's a hit.
Yeah, sure is. All right, next up we have the 2 diff Sing for Me. +3 low block, checks a 5. It's got enhanced commit, discard 1 momentum, gain 2 health, and draw 1 card. What do you think?
Another reprint, which is fine enough. All these reprints are pretty interesting. On its symbols, I think it's a pretty solid ability. We've mentioned several times, she has the life symbol. Recovery Girl is going to eat this up.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of death decks are going to eat this up for the draw effect. We're losing a lot of draw effects in the format. We don't really know what we're going to gain from the next set, but at least we know in the Challenger Series they understood that, right? They
Yeah,
see that we're going to lose a lot of these effects, so they're handing them to us.
sure are. Yeah, this one's going to be a hit. We're going to see it. The momentum cost is
Totally fine on a
pretty.
draw one.
Yeah,
Like I'm down to discard a momentum to draw a card.
exactly. So hit for us. All right, what do we got here?
We got a 1 diff +3 mid block, checks a 4 this time. We have Skeptical. All this guy says is response tenacious flip. After you flip this foundation, ready it.
Yeah. No,
Um,
after you flip a
a
foundation.
foundation, ready this foundation.
Yep.
What do we think about this guy?
Uh, I think it's pretty neat. The 4 check is rough. The +3 mid block is rough.
Yeah,
But, like it readies itself,
yeah, for
and
sure.
unlike again, like you said, we've had it too good for too long.
Yeah, absolutely.
Requesting assistance did all this for almost.
Yeah, yep, with
You
a
know?
much better mid block. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. But it definitely should not be that way. I think this is totally fine. This is 2 foundations, right?
Yeah.
This is basically 2 foundations on a 1 diff. Feels pretty solid.
Yeah. Exactly. I think you're gonna see this in decks.
Yeah, it's a hit.
Next up, we have the zero diff plus zero low block. Syndicate target checks a 6. It says, after you play this card as a block, lose 1 health. How do you feel about this guy?
I fucking love this card. I loved this card in retro. I love it still in this format. I think this card is insane. Once again, exactly where a zero diff should be. A plus zero low block that checks a 6, that seems insane.
Yeah.
The only cost is losing a single health. I'm going to block a 9 damage move. Okay, I'll lose 1
Yeah,
life.
yeah. Oh yeah, the plus zero low blocks. I mean, it's rotating out soon, but
Yeah,
tongue whips were.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so yeah, I think this card is absolutely sick. It is just so good.
Yeah, super easy zero to jam. It's a hit. So those were the full kits of the 2 decks. Uh, Going over the characters, like we said, I have experience with the Trigun deck. Marvin has experience with the Bebop deck. Um, I will say, like, rating the characters, Vash doesn't exist in his own deck.
Yeah.
He may be good. We're still tinkering with ideas around him. He may be good outside of this deck. But the whole gimmick of needing an attack on top of your deck is just it's too costly. It doesn't pan out as good as you would hope most of the time.
Yeah.
So instead of playing him in this weird gimmick deck where you need to have an attack, you just play him in a good deck.
Yeah, that just has that ability sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you
Well,
were saying the discard and attack effect felt really bad when you
yeah,
draw
yeah.
3 foundations.
You look at your hand like there was one time where it popped off. I had 2 attacks in hand. I played one. The other one wasn't going to kill him, so I discarded it to draw 3 more. Drew the one that would kill him. But that is a pipe dream. And like the thing is, his ability you don't even on his face. You never needed an attack on the top of your deck. You just mill 1 plus 2 speed.
Yeah, yep.
So you just build a good deck around mill 1 plus 2
And
speed.
take out all the stuff that needs the attack on top.
Yeah, and he may be good. Wolfwood, on the other hand, Wolfwood runs this deck fine, because he's giving damage. Everything that needs an attack on the top of the deck, you just ignore that because you're like, here's plus 3 damage, here's plus 3
Yeah.
damage,
Yeah.
here's plus 3 damage. Oh, I'm just going to discard a momentum at the start of my turn, draw 2 more cards.
Here's plus 3
Here's
damage.
plus 3
Yeah.
damage. So Wolfwood, I mean, I do believe he will be better in a different deck. But in the deck itself, if you're just running the deck fresh out the box, Wolfwood is probably the better character to run. So I would say, like in the world where you're playing these decks, Vash is going to be a miss, Wolfwood's going to be a hit. In the wider world, Vash is right now still probably a miss. Like he gives plus 2 speed, which is good, right? But it's enhance, commit, discard, and attack
Yeah,
is
that is
so rough.
definitely the opposite of what we generally want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, Vash is going to be a miss in the wider world of UVS. Wolfwood is still going to see. I think Wolfwood's going to see a lot of play.
Yeah, fair, fair. Very similar stuff for the Bebop one. We had Spike. You already know what Spike does. He tries to draw a million cards, give +1/+1 for each of the 3 face downs. I initially read that character wrong. It certainly does say this attack, so I think he is a huge hit. Being able to half block, like flip 1 foundation. If this attack deals damage, I'll draw a card. I'll half block it. I'll pay back my block. Felt super solid against match against Edgar here. And then the stats across the turn are really easy on the symbols that he's on because I constantly had my entire stage face down.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a huge hit both inside the deck and in the wider world of UVS. The entire deck is just flip and unflip, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
it's super simple, super easy to run. Faye is a little bit challenging, right? She's definitely like she's that 7-hander that she's trying to like more control the game state than she is trying to flip her entire stage and end her opponent's life. She gets that -2 damage. I think she runs the deck a little bit less well than Spike does, but that makes sense. Spike's the main guy. Um, I think in the wider world of UVS, she has a very, very solid opportunity to do very well. So I think in the realm of Cowboy Bebop, they're both hits. Inside the deck itself, Faye might be a little bit of a miss.
Yeah, yeah. So those are the cards as revealed. Later in the week, we will definitely be showing off a little more of this.
Yeah, for sure. You'll see maybe a little bit of unboxing, maybe a little bit of gameplay here. We have the physical cards right next to us over here.
Yep,
So
yep. Yeah, so look forward to that.
And that's going to be it for the Cowboy Bebop and Trigun hits and misses. I think it's like a little bit skewed to miss. We may have been a little bit lied to about these decks, right?
Yeah,
They definitely told us that these were less starter decks and more tournament ready decks, going so far as to like berate people on Discord when we call them starter decks. Go ahead and berate me on my own channel. This is a starter deck, guys.
yeah, this is
These are
100%
starter
starter
decks, and
decks.
honestly, pretty bad ones
Yeah,
compared to like Overhaul and Mirio. Definitely, there's no comparison here. Those are better starter decks than these are. But definitely because of the hits, like the hits are hits,
yeah,
right?
the hits are 10 out of 10,
Yeah, you're gonna want these cards.
whereas like some of them, a handful of the misses are really bad,
Yeah.
but a lot of the misses are just like it's an
Okay.
okay card
Yeah,
that we
we have
see
same
elsewhere.
effects. Yeah, exactly.
So
So yeah, you'll still want to pick these up. They're great value still for the $30, especially when you can take into effect the collector's booster that comes in them.
yeah,
So I still highly recommend picking these decks up. Just yeah, maybe take it with a grain of salt. There's some hits, there's some misses.
yeah.
But yeah, that'll be it for us today. Catch us next time. More of our talking head videos where hopefully we'll be able to go over the physical cards. We have those in hand. So later on this week, you'll be able to see gameplay videos as well as the unboxing. So keep a lookout for that. Until next time, peace.
Peace.